Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
It is so vitally important to support the CanCon. And if you're within the sound of my voice, that must mean you're in the seats with, once more, as always, my name is Dave Voigt, and I'm the host of this podcast where we sit down with a wide-ranging variety of industry professionals, and we pick their brain about current projects, state of the industry, how they got started, and so very much more in a light and in a conversational fashion. And if you like how we do things around here, I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that you do. And if you do, subscribe. You're listening. Subscribe to the podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Give us the old 5-star rating. Basically, wherever you get your podcasts. We're Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Google, pretty much everywhere. And we archive every single one of our episodes over at our In the Seats YouTube channel, so you can give us a like and subscribe there as well. We would absolutely appreciate it. Also, do not hesitate to check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and we're on Instagram at, you guessed it, we're at In the Seats, for all sorts of fun updates. And finally, and I do dare say most importantly, please pay us a visit over at In the Seats, intheseats.ca, for all the latest and greatest from the world of film, television, basically the moving image at large, because we love to watch it and write about it and talk about it. We love it when you come by and read about it and listen about it. So do us the kindness and pay us a visit. On this episode, though, we've got a real good one. We're getting into some Canadian content. We're supporting the homegrown talent, as it were, as we are talking to one Mercedes Morris, who is one of the stars of the new show SkyMed, which has been playing on CBC and CBC Gem pretty much, for the past few weeks. It's a real interesting show. It's a good one. It's it's a drama, but it shows the sort of the stress that the people who are under, who have to run these airborne hospitals and airborne ambulances, and it's a fantastic show that I can't talk about enough because I like supporting talented people and talented projects and whatnot, and Mercedes is definitely one of those kind of people. Because not only is she an actor who has been working on several projects like SkyMed and other ones that can't even talk about right now because she's doing other stuff, but she's a singer. And she gives back to her community as well. And again, I like talking up and coming talent like this who really has a very sort of grounded sense of where they're going, where they've been, and what's important. And plus, she's a big basketball fan too, and just from a personal standpoint, I love me some basketball, so it was nice to talk a little bit about that with her as well. But if you're interested, check out SkyMed on CBC or CBC Gem or wherever you find it. It's a fantastic homegrown show, which I cannot recommend enough, and is doing well in the States as well. But first, kick back and enjoy our talk with Mercedes, because between you and me, it's a pretty good one. All right. Well, obviously, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate this.
You're most welcome.
Now, just to kick it off, I finally got a chance to check out the show. It's really good. I really got a kick out of it. But walk me through, I guess, sort of how the script came across your desk and how you ultimately saying yes, because this feels like just in watching it, it doesn't feel like a soundstage show. It feels like a very rugged show.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I remember the breakdown came through, and even the description of the character was a little bit more like tomboyish, I guess, or, I think focused on her career, and I picked that up right away. And I know my audition, it was like late night. I think the audition was due the very next day, and I just decided to own it, to give her a certain amount of confidence and swagger. And I feel like she's very similar to me. And so I was like, you know what? Let's just give her. And yeah, they love the tape. I booked it off of that tape, and I'm very grateful. Like Lexi, she's my heart.
Fantastic. No, you correct me if I'm wrong, this was shot in Winnipeg, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay. So, was it a lot of just sort of, because boots on the ground, just sort of getting dirty and rough when you had to, kind of thing?
Hey, that's, for me, I'm grateful for that experience shooting out there, because that is what the medevacs truly go through, right?
Yeah.
The environment, the terrain, the wilderness, the cold, that's like their purpose. When there's an emergency out in the mountains or something, or even out in the water, and you can't easily access it with an ambulance, you need the medevacs,
For
right?
sure.
So yes, once or twice I remember us shooting in like -40, -50
Oh
weather.
my God.
And I was just like, I didn't even know it could get this cold. My eyelashes were freezing, but I'm like, hey, this is what they would be going through. So you kind of just suck it up, and it feels very method.
I mean, we're Canadian, but even we have our limits, right?
Right? Right? Yeah.
Now, I mean, through all this, I mean, obviously you're going through medical jargon, you're going through flight jargon, but I mean, I heard you got a little bit of the flying bug in sort of shooting this. Is there any plans for you to try to do it on, like, to learn how to fly yourself, or like, have you had a chance to sort of dive into that a little bit more?
I've dived into it a little bit more because I've been traveling a lot lately for work, and connecting with almost every pilot or flight attendant that I come across to share the show with them, right?
Right.
But also just to express to them my gratitude and my love, my newfound love for what they're doing. A few of the pilots have told me, hop in the seat, let me take pictures with you, and even as I was preparing for the role, I would bump into pilots and I would ask them, what's one piece of advice you would give a new pilot? Or what's something kind of unknown in the industry that you wouldn't mind sharing with me? So there were little things like this gesture,
Right.
which you might notice that my best friend and I in the show, Novak, I slide in a few of those with Novak, and I hope that pilots, as they watch the show, they go, hey, like they know what they're doing. I do plan to get my license. I don't know, it's very natural for me. All of a sudden, this love, it just feels very like it's just who I am.
Right.
Like literally, we were landing. One of my flights was landing, and I was like, he's going too fast. I could feel it. He better flaps. Did he put his flaps down? I could feel the velocity, like all these little words. It just came very natural to me. And then he actually did have to abort the landing and try again because he
Oh,
was
wow.
going too fast. So that shows me I'm on the right track.
Now, I mean, what is it about it that you find so compelling? Because I mean, for me, whenever I fly, my God, if they were allowed to knock me out, I'd let them. You know what I mean? What is it about flying that is so attractive?
I think maybe it's like the sense of control and responsibility. Even sometimes you have to land a plane with zero visibility. Say it's foggy out, right? People, they're depending on you, and I think it's something about just being able to help people get to their destination and make sure that they're okay. Like Lexi, I think I enjoy that sense of responsibility.
I like that.
Also to explore, like I love traveling. So when I get my license, I would take a small plane and just go explore. I would fly myself.
Oh, very cool. All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, something else I appreciate about the show is especially for your character, because, I mean, obviously on a show like this, there's going to occasionally be people hooking up and relationship stuff going on, but you seem to not have to worry about that kind of stuff. Is it nice to be able to sort of play the working woman sort of in this sort of universe?
It is. It is. I'm like, ooh, I passed the Bechdel test. I like that. Being career driven and focused, I think it's inspiring for a lot of, women watching the show, or just people in general, someone who's just so focused on their passion and their purpose, and, kind of blocks out all of those distractions. I think relationships can be fun, but sometimes when you know what your finish line is and what your goal is, you just have to be zoned in. You know what I mean?
For sure. No, absolutely.
So
No, I mean,
I like it.
well, I like it too. But I mean, another reason why I wanted to talk to you, because, and I mean, I will admit this, I'm a basketball fan, and I mean, I love a little bit of CBL myself.
Hey.
I mean, everyone's worried about, is Durant coming to Toronto and all that nonsense when there's really such a great league and such a great sport happening sort of in our own backyard. Like, how did
Yes.
you kind of discover it? How did you become a fan?
Well, I've always been a Raptors fan.
Yeah.
The same way I'm a Blue Jays fan or I'm a Toronto FC. I just have a lot of pride, like homegrown pride. So when I learned that Scarborough, which is my community, I've grown up there, when I learned that we were getting our own team, the Scarborough Shooting Stars, I was like, sign me up. Right? So the tickets went on sale and I got season passes just because I just love basketball, but I think it's the community aspect. It's bringing everyone together. It's the pride, the excitement. They have like a dance team and the DJs and the half court performances. I love being a part of all of that excitement. And it's very funny that the stadium that they play out of, I literally grew up across the street. Across
Really?
the street. I remember when that stadium, the Pan Am Center, when it was a dirt field and people would, go over there and play cricket or soccer. So I like the fact that I've grown with my community and being connected to the team. It feels like I'm a part of that legacy, of Scarborough's legacy and excitement. So yeah, we're doing pretty good. I've missed one game because I was out in Montreal shooting, but hey, I guess I'm a shooting star,
I mean, it's such a good quality product too. I mean, people forget about just sort of the depth of talent that there is there. Just because if you're not making it to the NBA or the G League, I mean, there's still a lot of good
Exactly.
basketball happening out there.
Exactly. They're working very, very hard, and I hope that the team makes it out to the playoffs in Ottawa. I actually did a courtside interview with them at the last game on Tuesday, so that was really exciting. It's broadcasted on the CBC network and
Mm.
like on the CBC Gem app, and so I was like, so are we. Check out SkyMed, same network. It was really fun.
No, and it speaks to the growth of the game too, which I mean, I'm so happy to see more and more people just sort of understanding it and really sort of embracing the quality of the sport. It's a beautiful thing for
Yes.
sure. Like you said,
Yes.
that quality thing, you don't like that idea of community. You'll never understand until you're actually at
Until
a
you're
game.
there,
Yeah.
and it's the energy in the stadium. So I encourage people to make it on out to Scarborough, get your tickets. Some are still available, and if you see me, say hi.
No, I mean, I'm curious for you because I mean, you're an actor, you're a singer, you're very sort of multifaceted. Is there something you've always wanted to try? I mean, aside from the flying, obviously, that you've wanted to sort of get
Oh,
into that you've never had a chance to yet?
that's a great question. Recently, I've I've been interested in stand up.
Oh
I'd
wow,
love
okay.
to do I would love to do a stand-up routine. That's kind of a bucket list thing of mine. So maybe by the end of the year, I'll have the courage to,
Well, it's brave, but I like it. No, for sure.
yeah, because I feel naturally like I'm a bit of a comedian, all that excitement, and I love telling stories. So I think I have a lot of the pieces to that puzzle. Yeah, I'm excited about
No, no, I
that.
mean,
And directing. Ooh, do you see now you got me
oh,
thinking.
do it, yeah.
I would love to direct more. I have directed my own music videos,
Okay.
but I'm working on a show. I'm writing a show, so maybe I'll have to direct that.
No, I mean, I'm curious because I mean, and I find this especially with other people I talk to, this day and age, especially just given the media landscape,
Hmm.
people need to be multifaceted. You can't just sort of get into this business and do one thing. You've got to be
Yes.
able to do multiple things. How important have you found it is to have not just have them, but to be able to cultivate
Hmm.
multiple avenues as you go forward in your career?
I think it's something that my mom has always encouraged and instilled in me, having multiple tools in your toolbox.
Mm,
And I went to Wexford Collegiate School for the Arts, and even though my primary like focus was music, singing when I went into there, I I went into the acting program, did some dance, to become a more well-rounded triple threat. And then even moving into my theater program at U of T and Sheridan, it's like a joint program that they have.
right.
Again, just developing that toolbox. I work with the power tools. I helped build the sets. I worked in the wardrobe department. I sewed the costumes for the third and fourth years, you know, the props department. So I thought it was very important to become well-rounded. And hey, if things ever were to slow down for me, I could build my own one-woman show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have all of the skills for that. I'm grateful that I've been able to focus on my acting and my music, but you never know. You never know.
No, for sure. And I mean, it's so important. I mean, you're absolutely right. And I mean, okay, this is a bit of a silly question, but it's one I always like to ask.
Bring it
Uh,
on.
can you think back to the younger days for young Mercedes? Like, was there like a linchpin piece of work, piece of music, piece of, you know, film, stage, something that you got to see that had the light bulb go off for you and go, you know what, I got to get into this business?
Hmm. You know, both kind of have to do with The Lion King.
Okay.
So I was obsessed with that film as a child, the VHS. My mom was just like, we had to buy multiples because of how often I
You
would
ran it
want,
onion skin thin, right?
you know. Um, I loved the music, but I thought it was exciting that the star was young Simba, you
Right.
know. And then interestingly enough, my aunt is a professional African dancer, and she was in the production, the Broadway production, when it came here to Toronto. And one day she brought me to the rehearsal, and I remember hanging out with their young Simba and watching their rehearsals and being like, I can do this. Like, you know, like almost as if I saw myself as Nala.
Right.
And so it just sparked this extra fuel in me when I saw another young person doing it. So again, my drive, my focus became very, you know, pinpointed. And I just knew that I was going to entertain the masses, whether it be acting, singing, dancing. I always knew I was an entertainer. My mom, she used to tell me, you said like mama, dada, a few other words, and then twinkle, twinkle, little star. It's who I am.
Oh,
It's
for
who I am.
sure. For sure. No, I mean, obviously, you've got this show and you've got the stuff. I know you can't talk about the stuff in Montreal going on, but that's all very exciting. But I
Mhm.
mean, I'm curious for you, like, is there a dream or a goal, or is it just about trying to find really good and sort of interesting material? Like, whether it be, you know, a Broadway offer or a film or another TV show, like, what do you hope
Hmm.
comes your way coming forward?
I would love to sing in a production, whether it be on Broadway or in a show. That would be awesome. I could think a dream role of mine would be something like Mary Poppins. I love children. I
Okay.
really do love kids so much. You know, I even have a youth program where I offer free improv classes to the youth in my community. So to combine my art, my love with children in some way would be really cool. Another one would a close second would probably be some sort of superhero movie or action.
Right.
Growing up, I did a ton of karate and sparring. I remember being like a yellow belt and beating brown belts. So it came very natural for me. So I would love to, you know, reconnect with that fighter.
For sure.
Maybe a Marvel film. I would love to be a Marvel superhero one day.
I can see it. No, for sure. No, I mean, I love that you brought up mentorship too, because I mean, it's a unique business that we're in. Because on one end, obviously, you need to be very protective of your spot and be sort of
Yeah.
very aware of certain things. But on the other end, it's so important to encourage and inspire and help bring other people up. Like, how big of that a factor is that for you, not just professionally, but from personal
Mhm.
satisfaction as well?
It means the world to me because there are a number of mentors that I had growing up who really believed in me, and sometimes that's all it takes. Someone to believe in you and to put you on a pedestal that you might not have even put yourself on. You know, I have an agent who did that for me. One time I said, I would love to be the funny best friend. Like I don't do enough comedy. And she was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're not the funny best friend. You're the funny lead who can have another funny best friend. But but you know, it's important to pour in to people. And in my community, I always looked for free training My mom would, send me to Soul Pepper for classes, or the Amy Project, which is artist mentoring youth. And I realized I was fortunate enough to have a mom who believed in me and would support me to go to those programs. But a lot of the youth in my community didn't have parents, whether it be a safety thing, traveling, right? So
Yeah,
I decided to bring it to them, have it within our community, and make sure that it's accessible, to give food, because food, insecurities, that's a big thing.
for
To make
sure.
sure to give bus tokens so that they can travel. So I would eliminate any sort of barrier. If you can believe it, you can achieve it, right? So I like to teach children even just about manifesting, positive, good vibes,
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it's genuinely who I am. The three pillars of my life would be acting, music, and motivation.
Well, I mean, years ago, I'm sure you wouldn't have believed doing a scene in 40-degree weather in Winnipeg, but you pulled it off and then some.
I, I pulled it off. I pulled it off. I'm proud of Lexi for the representation that she provides as a Black female pilot. And I'm proud of myself for that representation as well, as a Black female artist. You know what I mean? Even something as simple as wearing my natural hair encourages
Exactly. Yeah,
young women to know, hey, my curls, this is the way that God made me. This is the way that I was born. Let me embrace who I am. This is professional. My natural curls are professional,
for sure. No, and you know what? It's a fantastic character that's out there on the screen, and I mean, I can't wait for more people to get to see the show. And just again, congrats on the work, and thank you so much for the time today. And go Shooting
Thank
Stars.
you. Thank you. Go Shooting Stars. Let's go. Let's make it to the playoffs, boys.
And don't forget to visit our friends over at Bay Street Video for all your DVD, Blu-ray rental, or purchasing needs this summer, as they are still open for curbside and some mailing delivery as well. Over at 1172 Bay Street, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, you can give them a call at 416-964-9088. That's 416-964-9088. Or send them an email at baystreetvideoto@gmail.com for any of your DVD and Blu-ray needs.